What's up, YouTube? This is Phil Morin, and I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. And I hope you're ready to open your minds because we're about to dive into the world of tritone substitutions. I'm going to give you 4 licks to help you navigate tritone subs, and hopefully, by the end of the video, you'll understand them that much better. Let's get after it. Following up last week's video about how tritone substitutions function, in this video we're going to explore 4 tritone substitution licks that will help you better understand tritone substitutions and hopefully give you some ammunition with which to navigate them. First up is this classic 2-5-1 tritone substitution. Check this out. This lick is one of my favorites because it's both simple and beautiful, and it's a beautiful example of early bebop language. Let's talk about what's going on there. Simply put, you're outlining the minor 2 chord, arpeggiating it, and then walking down the scale of the tritone substitution. So let's take it in the key of C for simplicity's sake. Your 2-5-1, of course, is D minor, G7, C. In this case, you're going to be playing a tritone substitution, so it's going to be D minor, D flat, dominant, C. So first what you're going to do is outline the D minor chord. Now this lick I like to think of in relation to the tonal center. It's easier to navigate this lick in relation to the tonal center. So we're going to talk about in relation to the key of C, and I'll also explain how it relates to the tritone sub, but this lick is much easier to think about in relation to C. So let's think of it in relation to the tonal center, in relation to C. So you're playing 3, 4, 6, 1, 3. So in relation to C, that's E, F, A, C, E. So you're resolving to the flat 3 of the tonal center. The flat 3 of C is E flat. And then you're walking down the tritone sub. The tritone sub is D flat, so you're walking down a D flat 7 scale, skipping the root. So you're playing the 9 of D flat, which is the flat 3 of C, so E flat, and then C flat, which is the flat 7 of D flat, or the leading tone of C, because C flat and B are enharmonic to each other, and then B flat, A flat, and resolving to G, which is the 5 of the tonal center, and you're back to 1. So you are walking down the flat 3, the 7, the flat 7, and the flat 6 of the tonal center, which is E flat, B, B flat, A flat, and resolving to the G. Which of course in relation to D flat is 9, flat 7, 5, 6. And then you're resolving to the 5 of the tonal center, which is G. So the whole thing together sounds like this. Pretty simple. By arpeggiating the minor 2 chord, you're outlining the minor 2 chord, you're resolving to the 9 of the tritone substitution, and then walking down the scale of tritone substitution and resolving to the 5 of the tonic. It's a beautiful, simple melody that is a great example of the early bebop language, and it's beautiful. Lick number 2 today is very simple, and it's easier to think about this one in relation to the chords you're using versus the tonal center. In this one, you're just arpeggiating the minor 2 chord ascending, and then arpeggiating the tritone sub descending. You're outlining, you're arpeggiating the minor 2 triad. So once again, we're in C, the minor 2 chord is D. So you're arpeggiating D minor, you're playing 1, 3, 5 in D minor, which is D, F, A. And then you're using the 4 of D as a passing tone to resolve to the 5 of your tritone substitution, which is E flat. So you're playing 1, 3, 5, 4 in D minor, which is D, F, A, G. And then you are resolving up a half step to the 5 of D flat, which is A flat. So then you're arpeggiating down a D flat dominant tritone sub. So you're playing 5, 3, 1, flat 7 in D flat. So it's A flat, F, D flat, and then C flat or B enharmonically, which is your leading tone back to C, and you resolve back to the 1. So you'll notice in both of these arpeggios, the 3 stays the same. So your minor 3 of D, D minor, F, stays the same as your major 3 of D flat, which is also F. So very simple lick. You're simply arpeggiating the 2 triads, the minor triad, and then ascending, and then the dominant triad descending, and resolving to your tonal center, the 1, which is C. Lick number 3 I got years ago from a Charlie Parker tune called Ornithology, which you may or may not know is a contrafact for How High the Moon, but it sounds like this. Now you'll notice that was just an extension of the second lick we played. That was a 2-5-1 with the tritone substitution. This is a 3-6-2-5 with tritone subs. So it'll be 3, flat 3, because the tritone sub of the 6 is the flat 3, and then 2, and then flat 2, and then 1. So it functions exactly the same, because it's basically a 3-6-2-5 is 2 2-5s. You have a 3-6 that resolves to the 2, and then 2-5 that resolves to the 1. So the only difference with this one is your first 2 chords are going to be minor, the 3 is going to be minor, the tritone sub is going to be minor, the 2 is going to be minor, and then your last tritone sub is going to be dominant. So just like lick number 2, you are arpeggiating the minor 3 chord. So in this case, we're in the key of C once again. So the 3 is E minor. So you're arpeggiating E minor, 1, 3, 5 in E minor, and then of course your passing tone is the 4. So 1, 3, 5, 4. So in E minor, that's E, G, B, and then A. And then you are arpeggiating a minor tritone sub. So in this case, E minor is your 3, the flat 3 is E flat, of course. So you're arpeggiating descending E flat minor, 5, flat 3, 1, flat 7. So in E minor, or E flat minor, that is B flat, G flat, E flat, D flat. And your D flat, your flat 7 is the passing tone to bring you back to your minor 2 chord, which is just like lick number 2 we talked about, which is D minor. So you're arpeggiating D minor with the passing tone of the 4. So 1, 3, 5, 1, flat 3, 5, 4, D, F, A, G. And then you're resolving, of course, to D flat. So A flat, D flat dominant, descending downwards, 5, 3, 1, flat 7. A flat, F, D flat, C flat, or B, and then resolving to your 1. Once again, arpeggiating 1, 3, 5 in the 3, which is E, G, B, and then A as your passing tone. Then you are descending the 7th chord, which is a minor 7th chord of your tritone substitution, which of course is E flat. So you're descending 5, flat 3, 1, flat 7, which of course is B flat, G flat, E flat, D flat, which then resolves you to your minor 2, and you're arpeggiating your minor 2 with a 4 in there as your passing tone. So 1, 3, 5, 4, which in D minor is D, F, A, G. And then you're descending your dominant tritone substitution for the 5, which is the flat 2, which is D flat, 5, 3, 1, flat 7 in D flat, A flat, F, D flat, C flat, and then you're resolving to your 1, which is C. So the whole lick together sounds like this. I know that sounds like a lot, but you're really just arpeggiating chromatically 4 chords and resolving. But it is important to think about this one in relation to the chord changes and take it slowly, because when you start transposing into other keys, it'll get very confusing if you're not fully aware of what's happening and how you're moving. So lick number 4 is another arpeggio you can use over a 2-5-1 tritone substitution, and it sounds like this. So this one is a little bit different because your tritone substitution has a 9 and a sharp 11 in it to give it a little extra color and help you resolve to the 3 of the tonal center in a more colorful way. So you're outlining the minor 2 chord like normal, arpeggiating a minor 7th chord, but then when you arpeggiate the tritone substitution, you're keeping it dominant, but you're arpeggiating it from the 5 and you're ending up on the sharp 11 and resolving to the 3 of the 1. So once again, we're in C, so let's talk about it. This one in relation to the chords, once again. This one's easier to think about in relation to the chords you're using. So what you're going to do here is you're going to outline the minor 2 chord starting on the 5, and the notes are 5, 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. You're starting on the 5, but you're outlining it from the 1 up. You're just arpeggiating the minor 2 7th chord. So it sounds like this. But then you're resolving to the 5 of the tritone sub, and you're playing 5, flat 7, 9, or 2, and then sharp 11 in D flat. That's a beautiful lick. It gives you some really nice color tones to use, and it's really beautiful to play over a ballad when you have time to really feel and hear those tones as they resolve. So there's 4 tritone substitution licks you can learn in all 12 keys. There's 2, lick 1 and 4, that are more melodic. They're useful in ballads. And then you have 2 and 3, which are more angular, maybe more for bebop situations, depending on what kind of mood you're trying to evoke, what kind of song you're playing over. But it's amazing, even if you take just one of these and learn it in 2 or 3 different keys, it's amazing what that will do for your understanding of chord changes and tritone substitutions. Give it a shot. You might just surprise yourself. Thanks again for joining me. If you learned something or enjoyed yourself, please consider liking the video and subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.